Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Glacier cable snow tire chains here on our 2021 Chevy Spark. Now, you know, in the Spark, we're probably not going to be dealing with too much heavy-duty snow, but if you do find yourself in a state that A, requires it, or B, you're having a light dusting or a little bit of ice on the road, we want that added security for ourselves. This can be a great little pickup. One thing, they're not going to be taking up too much room in our vehicle, so they're a really easy way to store inside of it. They're going to come in a nice little carrying case for ourselves as well. And B, they're not going to take too much time to throw on. Now, the only thing you're going to run into is the Spark does have a lot of a low clearance. So if you do find yourself somewhere in the ditch somewhere trying to get out, can be very beneficial to grab a jack. We're going to be hitting on that a lot today. As you guys are going to see, can have a little bit of low clearance, but that's why I kind of like these guys, is we're going to simply lay them across. It's going to take no time at all to get them installed. Now you're going to see that we are going to have our little rollers on here. Now everything's going to be made with a low carbon steel. What that means for ourselves, we're not going to have the longest lifespan with these guys, but as long as we are cleaning them off and properly treating them, we can extend that life just a little bit more. But keep in mind, with that low carbon steel, you're eventually going to see wear and tear on it, especially as it goes down on those roads. Taking a close look here too, you can go ahead and see that we don't have too much contact here. Things to watch out for, of course, getting these nice little tensioners out of the way, or these little kind of bites right here. Definitely want to watch, make sure we're not having any contact on our sidewall. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at our chains and what exactly they're doing. As you guys can see, we are getting a ladder style pattern in here. I can fit a whole hand in between my cables. What that means for ourselves, we're gonna get really good start and stop maneuvering. So you're gonna really feel those ridges as you go. And one thing with that, you are gonna lose just a little bit on your turning radius, just because as you turn, you're gonna have to overcome each one of those kind of humps as we go around. Of course, it is going to be great in those weather conditions of giving us a nice start and stop, but just keep in mind, you're going to lose a little bit on that turning radius. Well, it's not going to take us any time at all to get them on here. Let's go ahead and see how we get them installed. For our first part of our installation, we're just going to go ahead and lay out our chains. You'll notice we here on our front tire. Now we do want to go ahead and put them on our front tires, as we are having a front wheel drive vehicle, of course. That way we can get that full traction. And as you guys can see, we just simply lay it out. Now with steel rollers here, what's nice about it, you're not really going to have too much prep time, as these guys aren't going to be binding nearly as much as chains, especially if you are rolling these up correctly and storing them properly. It makes it really easy to roll these guys out. We don't have to really worry about them too much. Things we are looking for though here, since we're going to be simply placing these across our tire, we actually want our smooth side facing the ground. What I mean by that, in here we're going to have just a little bit of hard points of contact where we roll over, and we don't want anything that can pinch or poke into our tire, causing any kind of damage. So now that we have it laid out and we're pretty centered, all I have to do is simply take my roller and place it across my tire like so. Of course, be careful with your paint. We don't want to be causing any kind of damage. And then we can go ahead, get underneath the car, and make our first connection. So here we are underneath our vehicle. You can see the Spark, very low seating vehicle, not going to be a lot of clearance. So especially if you are trapped somewhere, it can be very beneficial for ourselves to get some kind of like bottle cap jack. That way we have something just to give us a little bit of room in here. Of course, always make sure you're using proper jack stands so we are safe in trying to put this on. But as you guys can see, this is definitely still going to be somewhat doable here. All we have to do, take our extra chain and start fitting it in through our holder. Now it's a little hard for me to do because I'm kind of doing this blind, so bear with me. And of course, like we said, this could take a little time just to get that reseated and in the right position. But once we can go ahead and try to get this as cinched up as possible, we definitely want to go ahead and get our extra wire put inside this clip. Now that might be easier to do from the other side, but we're going to attempt it here, but bear with us if we have to cut around. But as you guys can see, I can go ahead, get that extra wire caught up. Now here's one thing I will suggest too. As you can see, we are just a little loose here. I might go ahead and come back and re-tighten this down. For now, we're gonna go ahead and go to the front and see how well we did. We're gonna have the same little attachment. Hopefully you guys can get a better idea of what that looks like. We just simply wanna take our extra connection here, pull it through, and trying to get it as tight here can really help us too, as of course we want it conforming to the vehicle wheel as much as we can. And once we get it nice and fitted in, we can go ahead and keep it in that position and put it to our extra connector here to start holding our chain. Extra wire out of the way. And just like that, we've gone ahead and making sure that wire isn't going to be in our way. Now that we have those connections made, you can see we are just a little loose here. Now, of course, we could keep trying to mess with this and really tighten it down, and that's something I highly recommend, especially if you are gonna have a lot of heavy driving ahead of you. However, one great little thing we can do as well is go ahead and pick ourselves up a rubber tensioner. This is gonna go ahead and give us a nice pull to the center of our tire, pulling in all that extra slack and making it nice and tight here on our wheel. To do so, we just kind of want to go in a star pattern, starting right here at the middle. Big things to take note to, we want that hook pointed away. Of course, we don't want anything causing any damage to our sidewall on our tire, causing any kind of damage. And we just simply start applying this across our chain. Can go ahead, make sure we have a good connection here. And of course, you can kind of go in this diamond pattern here. Just that way we're getting this nice and evenly spread out. Well, as you guys saw with that rubber tensioner there, it does a really good job of taking that slack. Now, it's just got a slight amount of movement here. I would probably go in the back and re-tighten down just a little bit. Again, it's very hard in the Spark. As you guys saw, not a lot of room. But as you guys can see, we're getting good confirmation across our tire here. That rubber tensioner is huge with these guys too. You know, these guys are a great little way of light dutiness. However, they do need a little bit of help, and that rubber tensioner does go a long way. Well guys, as you saw, that installation didn't take any time at all. Again, I'm a really big fan of these rollers. If you don't find yourself really needing a lot of heavy duty application, it's gonna get you certified for your state, and B, that way we have a little added security. If we are needing those tires, they're gonna be in our car. As well, with that installation taking no time at all, I think this can be a great little pickup for the Chevy Spark. If you do find yourself needing just a little bit more application, I might recommend taking a look at your square links or those twisted links. I think V-bar is just gonna be a little too aggressive for our Chevy Spark, so hopefully we can make the right decision for ourselves. Well guys, I think that's gonna do it for our look at the cable snow tire chains here on our 2021 Chevy Spark. I'm Bobby, thank you for watching.